I'm going to call order to the July 6, 2021 Transportation Committee meeting. Councilmen Swagasback and Lambert are not able to make it, were not able to make it tonight. All others are in attendance. Councilman Cagnalotti, would you lead us in the prayer and the pledge?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to live in the free United States of America. We just celebrated the independence of our country. Let us not forget that the freedom we have is because of those who have fought and given and sacrificed so that we could continue to have our freedom. We ask that you watch over us and guide us tonight, making decisions regarding the transportation issues in Ascension Parish. Bless all of our people in Ascension Parish, the council, this committee, and everybody involved, including the parish president and the administration. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. If anybody in the crowd would like to make a public statement, feel free to come up and I'll give you your 3 minutes. Will you sort through all of the red cards? Thank you.
I got them right here.
Okay. Let's do the
I
green.
like the red first.
Okay,
actually.
green. That'll work. Red.
I like to hear 'em go.
Moving on to general business. 5A, acceptance of minutes of the June 8th, 2021 meeting as written.
To accept as written.
Second.
We have a motion to accept by Councilman Mason, a second by Councilman Cagnalotti. Any objections? None. So moved. Moving on to item B, department report. Mr. Turo.
Members, we've had a very eventful several days and month. One thing in particular, and I don't want to take all of the thunder of I mean this is a great article that was in today's paper. Was an article by David Mitchell, but it was a follow-up by what was presented by Jeff Burst to Martin McConnell, and it's snowballed to where David Mitchell has this great article about all of the DOTD projects that's coming up in the parish that was just let this past month. It includes the roundabout and nearby property on LA 44. It also, and that project, has been anticipated for quite a while. It's going to relieve congestion in the Loosemore 941 project and actually tie in all the way to the Conway Bridge close to I-10. The other projects are LA 74, that's just in poor condition from the airline highway to the Iberville Parish line. Also LA 70, which is not in Ascension Parish. It's the portion of LA 70 not in Ascension Parish, but it certainly affects Ascension Parish residents because you have to go through St. James Parish in order to get to the west side to Donaldsonville. So it's to mill and overlay LA 70 from the parish line to the Sunshine Bridge, and then from the Sunshine Bridge to the St. James Ascension Parish line. The other project is to relieve a safety hazard for the left turners on Airline Highway at Cornerview. It's going to offset the left turn lanes at that intersection. So those are all great projects that were all let this past month. DOTD also has upcoming projects of I-10 patching at the interchanges of LA 22 and 73. That's going to be let in September. There's also the LA 18, which is River Road project from the Sunshine Bridge to LA 3120 on the west side. Also on the west side, LA 1 from 3089 in Donaldsonville going towards White Castle, but it's going to be, up to the Iberville parish line. Another project that's going to be let, now this is, the LA 1 project's due to be let in December. The other project to be let in December is a right turn lane on LA 73 onto LA 75, which is River Road. And then a much anticipated project of the roundabouts on LA 30 at I-10 that's going to be let in February of next year. There's also two roundabouts that are Move Ascension projects, but they are going to be let by DOTD. One is the roundabout at 929 in Parker. It's going to be let in October. It's due to be let in October. The other one is at 621 and Roddy. It's on schedule for March of next year. I don't know if that's going to make that or not. It might be a little later.
We might have to reschedule that.
Okay. So that's what DOTD had on their books, but that one may actually be a little later. So that's DOTD's roster of projects to come. In our pavement preservation program, the contractor has done crack sealing on several roads. They've helped us out in that regard because we always want to crack seal before we do a surface treatment on a roadway. So there's a list there of numerous roads that they crack sealed for us. They did complete task order 3, which provided preservation, what they call the bio-restore that we put on our freshly overlaid pavements. They finished task 3, which includes about 30 different projects that we're able to preserve and hopefully get a lot more life out of those roadways. Our parish forces has done quite a few things. We usually task them with a lot of projects that are pretty labor intensive and doesn't require a huge project to be made, but we certainly have a talented group that can do a lot of things. The first one is a good example, is they paved the parking lot of the Lamar Dixon soccer field. They accomplished that earlier this month, or early in June. They repaired sinkholes in Bo Douglas and John Alaric and Pelican Point Parkway, another one in Dove Estates. There was a washout on that poor road of Highway 930 that they had to do a quick repair after one of our tremendous rains that we had this past month. The Lamar camper lot at Lamar Dixon, they regraded that also. And then Gale Drive, they were able to overlay it.
Okay, are we done?
I think that's it.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Joey. Do you have any questions?
Good job.
Okay. Let's see, where are we now? I think we are Move Ascension update with Jeff Burst under the same agenda item. That's why I got confused. I apologize. Brain's a little slow tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Before you have the monthly Move Ascension briefing in your packets. Starting off, we see the construction section. The 8 projects that have been completed as part of Move Ascension. The last 2, 7 and 8, you see there are not actually asphalt projects, but yet so vital, both along Airline Highway and then on the West Bank as well, timing the signalized intersections. And we worked in coordination with DOTD, and we're probably due for an update to that synchronization on the airline highway corridor. So we'll be coordinating that with the DOTD district traffic engineer. Under construction now is the roundabout at 930 in Henry. That is going very well. The next one you see is Seabro. That's actually under contract. And Joey's been negotiating for a while now, and a change order, a deduct change order, to save several $100,000 on the project. He's been very successful, and I think just as of today, was able to come to terms with the contractor on a successful negotiation. So they'll be submitting their new packet, and we'll go ahead and schedule a pre-construction meeting and get Seabro underway here shortly. You'll see the next group, which is next up for construction. So the first two are along Roddy, so clearing grubbing from Airline to 935, but then also two little intersections at Merritt Evans and Norwood, where we're just kind of improving the turnout radius, the line of sight. Causes some accidents because of line of sight, very narrow turnout radii at those locations. So those will be improved. Bids were taken in May. Council approved. Legal is working through getting them under contract now, and then once done, we'll hold a pre-construction meeting on both of those. The US 61 Germany intersection project is scheduled to be advertised for construction on the 15th of this month. It'll run for 3 weeks of advertisement, and then the first of next month, we'll set to take bids, and we'll come before you again to present acceptance of the low bidder, seemingly if they are a responsive bid. Upcoming at the end of this month, or very first week of the following, we're going to advertise the Henry Road widening, clearing, grubbing. And also, there's two roundabouts that we will go to get under contract to do the clearing and grubbing at those intersections as well. And those locations are Bro, Germany, and 929, 930. A lot of activity in the upcoming few months here with these next 6 will be under construction and or advertised for construction by the end of this month and into next month. Other pre-construction activities now that we're still working on, and what I repeatedly say month after month in these briefings, is that utility relocations is the critical path. And you can see what's been completed now, what's wrapping up underway, and then what's coming up next. And as I mentioned, once we clear and grub the 929, 930, we can move the utility forces in there to get the lines out the way and then go to construction. Same thing with Bro, Germany. And then you see on the next page 6 through 9 after that as well. Discussing right-of-way acquisitions. That's an ongoing activity. You'll see that we have acquired 253 of 428 parcels. That equates to just over 59% complete. That's an increase from last month's report. We have a dozen already complete, with another 5 to half dozen that will be complete total acquisition by the end of summer. So moving very quickly with that. So as we're designing, we're acquiring right-of-way. As we're acquiring right-of-way, we're moving the utilities. And as we get the utilities moved, we're advertising and going to construction. And you will see that repeated from now through 2022. And I've been working with Joey, and we've developed some timelines on all of these projects to see each month there was concerted effort and actual construction underway every single month from now through the end of 2022. And that's just where we stop the projections. They will continue after that as well. And we can certainly extrapolate that as well. Moving on to the financial section. You've seen this before in the previous couple of months, but it's worth reiterating because it is pretty substantial to be added to the initial $35 million Move Ascension bonded program. You'll see over the last 2 call for projects with the MPO, we were successful in being awarded just under $17 million in federal monies. We were able to get $2 million in DOT safety funds. We anticipate receiving several more million in this upcoming call for projects that we've already applied for, as well as a joint application, which will be a portion of, if we're successful, or all of another $14.5 million. It's a joint application with the city of Gonzales for a project that is along Airline Highway, multiple intersection improvements, which is called a Super Street Corridor Improvement, and that's in conjunction with DOTD. So we're excited about that. You can see that we've received in cash and not credits almost $5 million from the DOTD Road Transfer Program. We've been allocated through Mr. Jerome Fournier's Traffic Impact Fee Program. $5.2 million has been allocated to the Move Ascension Program, and we've been spending those dollars as they come in. We were successful in receiving and being awarded $1.4 million in unallocated federal dollars by the MPO, and this is money that we were able to get because we stood at the ready, where they were previously going to go to other governmental entities that are part of the MPO, and because they were not able to utilize and get them authorized in time, we were able to step in and capture those funds. So we were very excited about that, as well as the next bullet, and that is an additional $2.1 million in federal dollars. But this bears a little bit of explanation. These are highly specialized exempt federal monies that go away at the end of this federal fiscal year, if not authorized by Federal Highway Administration. The deadline cannot be extended and it cannot be reapplied for. So none of the other entities in the MPO felt like they could meet these deadlines, so Ascension Parish was awarded. We're working with DOTD staff, and we actually have a meeting on Thursday morning of this week to go over with them and express a sense of urgency, that this is not the normal elongated process, that we have already accelerated our efforts, the parish and my team's efforts, to be in a position to give DOTD a completed project by the end of this month, which then should give them enough allotted time to get it federally authorized so that the state of Louisiana doesn't lose out on these funds. So hopefully I'll have a good update for you, a very positive update for you next time when we brief, and hopefully there'll be a successful meeting with the department this Thursday.
Yes, Jeff, I just want to say,
Yes, sir.
and I think I speak for everybody on this committee and probably the full council, if we can help in any way, don't be afraid to ask. We'll do whatever we can to get that $2.1 million.
Certainly, and we're working through those efforts.
Unless y'all disagree.
No, give me money.
We're working through those efforts through the DOT staff level and working through their established processes, the first step going, and we've taken upon ourselves to advance the projects well far of where we would normally be, so that we don't want to be the cause for the state losing out on these monies. We stand at the ready to produce and deliver, and so we'll be working those efforts with the DOTD staff. And if it seemingly becomes necessary, we certainly will elevate it here to the Ascension Parish Administration, and they in turn can then maybe have conversations with their counterparts at the department leadership as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Going to the third page is just ongoing activities. I'll be looking to set up either by the end of this month or the first part of August another steering committee meeting to address in real time certain large-scale items to help move and keep this program moving at a good pace, and we've been very successful thus far. We continue to have project-specific utility meetings. We're going to be staking right away, having utility companies come out in the field. Joey's been in good contact and really giving them good direction on what he would like to see from that effort so that we get their cooperation. So once it's cleared, the right-of-way stake, we can get them honed in so they can get in there and move their lines in a timely manner. We're, again, as we mentioned, all of these projects coming up for construction, so we're actively preparing the construction proposal documents, including all technical specifications, supplemental provisions, and everything that goes along with those plans.
Jeff, if you don't one moment.
Absolutely.
Councilman
Yes, sir.
Cagliati has a question.
Yeah, Jeff, you talked about the right-of-way acquisition, utilities in particular. I attended a meeting, it was about a month or so ago, and I think it was utilities stakeholders. Entergy was there, Atmos, the city, Gonzales, everybody. And I just thought it was one of the most productive meetings I've ever attended. Everybody had their say-so, and they had their, we had people from our planning and zoning department there, and you were there, I think.
Yes,
And
sir.
I think that just showed me that if everybody is involved and everybody knows what's going on, especially with regard to utilities, if you're going to have to relocate them, everybody needs to know.
And that's right, and we call that a utility summit, where we got all of them either virtually or in the room at one of the conference rooms at the governmental complex. And we were grateful to have President Quintmore there to actually lead the effort and really illustrate to all of these utility companies the importance of them relocating their lines in a timely manner, because it does have a trickle-down effect. They are the critical path, and at times, I know they have limited crews, and we compete with other projects that they have with DOTD for relocations, et cetera. But the president was there to really emphasize, as yourself as well, the importance of relocating the utilities in a timely manner. And I think that everybody hearing it, from both the council, yourself and Councilman Lawler, from the administration, the parish president, and others from his administration that were there, I think that was really impactful that, now they also have buy-in to the success of these projects, and really kind of holding up their end of the bargain. And as I mentioned, relocating in a timely manner is just so critical to the delivery of all of these construction improvement projects.
Right. Well, thank you. I
Yes,
just
sir.
wanted to compliment you all on that. Good job.
And just, as I mentioned, ongoing, we have 11 design consultants that we're overseeing. We're, again, acquiring right-of-way, working with the pipelines and utility companies. I did kind of not really hone in, but working with Shell Pipeline, they will be extending the casing on their pipeline for the Parker Road 929 roundabout this month. So we've gotten all the permits on, we've gotten them mobilized, and they will be on site working to extend the casing on that project later this month.
It's been about 7 years coming. It's been a long one. It's good.
Yeah, we're excited, and like I said, DOTD, as Joey mentioned, has it on their letting list, and we're working towards getting utilities in there, getting those lines relocated, and then we can hopefully meet that DOTD letting date. But either way, it will not slip to another fiscal year.
Excellent.
So we're excited about that project, without question. We continually work, and we've already secured 90% of all core permits for all the jobs. It's only the newer projects that have been added that we're still working on. We're updating the website, and we continue to analyze the DOTD road transfer program, traffic impact fee program, as well as working through construction and inspection services on an ongoing basis. All of these activities just are an ongoing daily occurrence. And just last, what I had was good news for Ascension. Joey hit on it right away, and Mr. McConnell, Communications Director, sent out a press release. The Advocate ran an article again this morning on it that in the second June letting of the DOTD had an investment in major infrastructure improvements around the state to the tune of $82 million. And Ascension Parish actually received a very large portion of that. Ascension projects that will be construction in Ascension Parish were bid out at $22.5 million, and that's just the June letting. So that's a great investment by the department, and they should be recognized into Ascension Parish. And so I just wanted to reiterate what the articles y'all have seen in the press releases and the article in Advocate Day, and what Mr. Turo alluded to earlier. And so that's all I had for this briefing. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
No questions. Great job, Jeff. Thank you for working so hard for us. You always do. I see Joey has something to add. But
Thank
great
you.
job, Jeff. Thank you.
There's a couple items I failed to mention. I just wanted to give an update on the 930 at Henry roundabout. They really haven't made a tremendous amount of progress this past month. It's been so wet of a month, and that project is a challenge, a drainage challenge. It just, whenever it rains, it just stays underwater. It's a very low intersection area. But I do have a meeting, in fact, with them in the field to get them, I'm going to try to give them every advantage traffic-wise as possible so we can get as much done before school starts. So, there may be some long road closures that I'll allow during the day. It may be inconvenient to travelers, but I really want to, and I'm pretty sure everybody's on board with that. We want to get as much done before school starts as we can. So I just want to let you know of that. One other thing that I just found out today, I was called out in the field on the Manchac Acres Bridge. They finished the one side that was that had a large erosion failure. They have that part just about finished, and lo and behold, as soon as we have it ready, we were planning on opening next week. The other side is showing some pretty major failures there. So instead of it being open next week, what I have is a drainage engineer. I talked to Ron Salvor this afternoon. He's going to line up a drainage engineer because that poor bridge has drainage issues and structural issues. It's a small bridge. This past year, a lot of work was done to Muddy Creek. It allows for drainage through the majority of it from, I think, Henry Road all the way to Manchac Acres, but this one bridge does choke it down considerably, and we realized that whenever we were working on it, but we didn't know it was going to be that much of a problem. So a drainage engineer is going to be coming out tomorrow to look at it. I've got a structural engineer lined up for early next week to look at it to see if there's got several considerations that we'll take under consult, is possibly replacing the entire bridge now because it is narrow. It does not allow the right amount of water through it. Of course, it's been like that for a while, and those last huge rains that we've had brought out that point. So I just want to let you know that bridge may be down for quite a while. That road and all may be down for quite a while. I'll learn a lot more about it next week. We'll come up with a path of whatever, of fixing what's there. But I anticipate the fact that not only is it structurally compromised on one side after we fixed the other side, the fact that it does not have a large enough opening, we just soon address the whole thing at one time. So just want to make you all aware of that.
That's a good plan to address it all at once. One of my concerns, because I've talked to a lot of people that live back there, when that bridge is out and we get high water, Camp Drive gets flooded, and then part of John Broussard gets flooded, and they can't get out at all. So we may have to look at, I don't know if there's a way to temporarily raise a part, and we can help go out there and identify other areas that get that high water to make sure people can get out of there.
Yeah, and I guess it's just attacking one point at a time. If you know an area, or I'm sure
with that bridge out, that traps a lot. It's a one-way out at that point.
Right.
But we'll work through it.
But I think it's very important to address the drainage issue of this bridge because it's
100%
a big deal.
Very good. Thank you, Joey. Okay, moving on to item C, and I know it's only going to take a little bit longer, but it's the 11 professional service contracts that we have to renew those. We have one where the company has been bought out and changed names. So what I think I'm recommending, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, that we do each one individually in case that one has to do a name change or file something different with the parish to make sure it's okay. I don't want to have all of these delayed because of one. So I'll run through them pretty quickly. Amendment to master contract for professional services with Hartman Engineering.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Cagliotti, a second by Councilman Mason. Any objections? None. Amendment to master contract for professional services with Shred Kirkendall. Motion by Councilman Mason, second by Councilman Cagliotti. No objections, so moved. Master contract for professional services contract with Burt Kleinpeter. Motion by Councilman Cagliotti, second by Councilman Mason. No objection, so approved. Master contract for professional services with Neil Schaefer Incorporated.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mason, second by Councilman Cagliotti. No objection, so approved. Master contract for professional services, T. Baker Smith.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cagliotti, second by Councilman Mason. No objection, so approved. Master contract for professional services, Evans Graves Engineers Incorporated.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mason, second by Councilman Cagliotti. No objection, so moved. Master contract for professional services, Meyer Engineers Limited.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cagliotti, second by Councilman Mason, so approved. Master contract for professional services, SJB Group LLC.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mason, second by Councilman Cagliotti. Any objections? None, so moved. Master contract for professional services, Buchard Horn Incorporated.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cagliotti, second by Councilman Mason. No objection, so approved. Master contract for professional services, GSA Consulting Engineers Incorporated.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mason, second by Councilman Cagliotti. Open for discussion.
That's,
I'd like to offer a substitute motion that we approve the contract with GSA Consulting Engineers unless there are name changes, and if it does, we adopt a name change and then
I'll second.
move forward with
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so we have an amendment by Councilman Cagliotti, second by Councilman Mason. Any objections? None. I guess that'd be a substitute motion, because we're going to substitute the whole thing.
Substitute
Okay,
motion.
perfect.
Whatever their name is.
Yes, all good. I just didn't want this to get to that one later on. They say, hey, the whole thing failed because we did them all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it may not have been necessary, who knows? Okay, moving on. Item 5D, approval to amendment number 1 to number 3 for asphaltic concrete pavement preservation 2019-2020. Joey, this is another decrease in money that we have to pay.
Big decrease. I think it was
$467.
$467.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Cagliotti. Any objections? None. So moved. Hey, every little bit counts.
Yep.
Oh, my bad.
Yes. Item 5E, approval of substantial completion asphaltic concrete pavement preservation 2019 through 2020, Task 3.
Motion.
A
Second.
motion by Councilman Mason, second by Councilman Cagliotti. Any objections? None. So moved. Item 5F, approval of one-year renewal to Amendment 2 to the master contract for pavement preservation with Material Resources Incorporated from August 2nd, 2020 to August 2nd, 2021 in the amount of $749,887.50.
I need to correct the date on that. That is for next year, so it's actually August 2nd, 2021
to
to August 2nd, 2022.
That was my question. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
are we halfway almost through this one?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Motion to approve
I'll
as
second that.
amended.
Yeah.
very good. A motion approved by amendment for Councilman Cagliotti, second by Councilman Mason. Any objections? None. So moved. 5G, approval of notice to proceed to, for supplement number 1 to task order number 2 for MA-18-08 Henry Road at Highway 930 roundabout.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Mason, second by Councilman Cagliotti. Any objections? None. So moved. Approval of closeout, this is 5H. Yes. Approval of project closeout task order number 2, MA-18-08 Henry Road at Highway 930 roundabout.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Cagliotti, second by Councilman Mason. Any objections? None. So approved. Approval of change order for the Move Ascension project MA-17-11 Seabro Road to change roadway design typical section.
Motion.
There's another savings, right?
Yes, we have a motion by Councilman Cagliotti,
Second.
second by Councilman Mason. For the record, Joe, you handed us these documents before. It looks like we are
Almost $500,000.
having a saving of almost $500,000 on this.
Well, and I do want to, it's kind of the reason why I was late getting here. I finally got this okayed by the contractor, because, a change order is signed by both parties, and they have to agree to everything on it. But this, I changed the typical section of it. The one item that I had to add last minute, whenever you decrease a contract by a substantial amount, what DOTD calls a major item, you have to essentially pay the contractor for their profits on that item. You don't pay them for the work that they do, but you pay them for their anticipated profits. So that is the last item is item S2. It is a decent amount of money, but but the overall project, as you mentioned, is a pretty substantial underrun. And I apologize to Councilwoman Casso. I will talk to her as soon as I can. I know this is a very dear project to her. It does show that there's 200 calendar days in the contract. This project now will not take that length of time, and the contractor is well aware of that. He's certainly going to be able to do it much sooner than those 200 calendar days. That'll take us, a good bit into next year. So they, the amount of work to complete this project is going to be a good bit less monetarily and work-wise. So just
Will
wanted
it
to make
start
you aware of
soon?
that.
Will it start soon?
Yes, early part of next month. They assured me they'll be ready. They do need a little bit of, startup time to assemble materials and all of that and get their workforce,
Got a mob, yeah.
mobilization and all that, correct.
That'll be great. This is about 1,000 times greater savings than the last savings we
Yeah.
had on the last one. I got to tell you, Joey, and tell you, Jeff, this is one of many Move Ascension projects that have come in under, that we've had to do a change order to decrease. So y'all are doing a great job on things.
Yeah.
Let's keep this up. If we can
We
keep
pay
saving,
taxes too,
the more money we save, the more projects we can do.
correct.
So that's great.
That's what it's all about.
So we had a motion and a second. No objections, so moved. Moving on to item 5J, approval of amendment number 1 to professional services sources contract for off-system, bridge live load ratings.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Cagnotti, second by Councilman Mason. Any objections? None, so moved. Item 5K, approval of amendment number 1 to emergency repair of 3 bridges to add 8 additional pile splices to the Muddy Creek Bridge. Is this part of what you were...
Talked about?
Yes, this is one that we had before. I think initially there was 6, 3, and 3, so there was a total of 12. Whenever they got a closer look, we went by DOTD's assessment of these bridges. Whenever the contractor went out and then our guys went with them, and it does involve a special hammer that you actually bang on the piles. Whenever they did a more closer analysis of that one bridge, they found a lot more than just the 6 piles. So that these are additional piles that the contractor found, and we verified that these need attention also.
To make a motion to
Like
approve?
Thor's hammer or
Second.
something? We have a motion by Councilman
Second.
Mason, second by Councilman Cagnotti. Any objections? None, so moved. Let's see, item 5L, excuse me, wow, what a rough night. Approval of amendment number 1 to the master contract for the repair of Manchac Acres Road Bridge over Muddy Creek to add the splicing 2 piles.
Motion.
We have a motion, Councilman Cagnotti, second by Councilman Mason. Any objections? None, so moved.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Second.
adjourn in a second, and all done. Thank you. Very good meeting,
Thank you, guys.
gentlemen.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Darla.
Thank you, Mr. Ernest.
Thank you, darling.